Y'all sure know how to make a girl feel welcome. Hi. Oh, encoding overload. I don't know. Hello, Luke and Rosie. Hello, Lasana. Hello, Nick. Hi, Ellie. Thank you for 37 months. Oh my god, it's hot in my room. Or you guys just have me flushed. See, I'm flushed. Ooh, Lisana, you flirting with me? I'm gonna tell your wives. I think that's probably expired now. JJ, I need you to go away. I know the last 2 weeks we've spent almost all of our time together, except for that weird incident where I abandoned you and went to a different state. Hi. How did JJ do at daycare? Oh. How do I feel any better? I feel a lot better. I still have a cough. So try to mute that. How she ate. Got 1 heart. She licked the bowl clean every time. Her vacation activities, she got a heart for possum. I love adventure. I had so much energy I could play all day. I loved making new doggy friends. Her behavior was 1 heart for absolutely potastic. 2 hearts for I absolutely adore all my human friends. A heart for my potty habits were perfect. Extra notes. So cute and sweet, love. JJ is such a sweetheart. So sweet, always wagging her tail, and they definitely had to correct the gender. Group play report card. Nervous and a bit shy. Calm, mellow, and easygoing. During group, she was full of energy. Oh, that was the at first. During group, she was full of energy. Nervous and shy, but slowly came out of her shell. Wanted to be held and snuggled. Her favorite part of group was finding a new best friend like Ozzy and Rex. Ozzy is a collie and Rex is a doodle. The hands-on personal attention from my attendant. Comments, super sweet. JJ had a great time in group. Once she got settled in, she relaxed and was able to make a bunch of new friends to roam and explore with. So, to answer your question, she did great. Granted, we did get her a private suite, which is a fancy word for her own bedroom and like extra yard time or something. Shut up, Tub Tub. Oh, might go live. No. I don't know what's going on with the camera today. Camera's not my business today. It's a podcast episode, I guess. Yeah, we didn't like the idea of her being stuck in a kennel environment. Like, no shame to anyone else who does that with their dog, but considering it was her very first time and she was there for 3 nights, um, and the photo of the room is so cute. I'm not gonna look it up because I don't want to. But it's like, you know how in kid spaces they do like a bunch of like paintings on the wall and they have lots of toys around. It's bright and colorful to keep kids feeling happy. That was literally her room. And it was like painted to look like the interior of a cabin. I don't know if they have themed rooms, but even with Doug, his crate is an open door. I'm sure that's what it is. There are tours we meant to go on. We might use their daycare, so we might go on an actual tour. But we were also, she's been so isolated from other dogs. The idea of her being in a room of like lots of dogs, we just feel like that would have stressed her out even more. She got the cabin room. It'd be really cute if they did themed rooms. I don't think they do. I don't know. And it was like lined with blankies, and there was like 3 different bed options, like a pile of blankets, or like a thing that looked like an actual bed, or I could be inventing that. I don't know. I only got a glimpse of the photo, but you could hear it in my voice. His crate is made for a 120-pound dog, so we call it his Prince Palace. Always has it available to him, and he chooses to sleep in it. Yeah, that's what we do at home. But I don't know what it would be like for like the overnight stay. What I'm picturing, and what I pictured before, which is why Brie showed me a photo because I was panicking. What I pictured is those really sad videos of dogs at adoption shelters where it's like a concrete floor and just like fences. So I was panicked. It looked nothing like that. And the yard is massive because it's like in the middle of nowhere. So they had lots of places to explore and roam. So she did good. She did very well. Brie and I got the flu. We're calling it the Palm Desert Plague. Exactly. The arms of an angel. Yeah, exactly. That's what I pictured. So we flew in on Wednesday. Spent Thursday with my family. Thank you, Lasana. The dress was incredibly too small, and so the minute I got home, I put it in the giveaway pile. That's a lie. I did that this morning. That's a lie. I did it yesterday. Doesn't matter. It's really not that important, but I'm trying to stop lying. California complaint for formaldehyde. Oh, compliant. I have no idea what that's from. I don't remember having this appointment. It's fine. It's for Thursday. What time? Oh. So Thursday we hung out with my family. Most of the family, not including the bride because she was running errands like the whole time. Nor my uncle. I think he was at work. Friday was the wedding. And then we caught our flight at like 5 a.m. Saturday. The hotel we stayed at, we picked it because it was right around the corner from my grandparents' old house, where the wedding was being held. They're in the process of moving. So they can be closer to their doctor. Unfortunately, the desert has really shit healthcare. You know, I picked up, they're starting me on Adderall, and I picked it up today. Maybe I should try it right now, because I'm getting so sidetracked. Okay, amount of practice. So, on the flight, Hi, Seneca. On the flight, we were both so tired because the hotel was so crap and we could not fall asleep. So we both kept like passing out in and out of it on the flight. It's only like a 3-hour flight, but neither of us could even like comfortably sleep on the plane. And you have to remember, we do, I won't say a lot of international travel, but at this point we do quite a bit because Australian and Ireland. I'm scared to try it. We're waiting until my cough is done, and then we're doing a deep clean and like basically, what's it called? When you clean for bugs? Fumigating the house. I have coffee. I was drinking a lot of hot toddies last week. Felt damn good too. Part of the problem is I have music playing, I think. Okay, fuck it. Let's try this. Real today. I don't take coffee with cream. Just a teensy bit of almond milk. So it's not dairy. All right, fuck it. She said I should feel it within like 30 minutes. Maybe sooner because it's my first one. Wait, Seneca, that's super cool. Okay. Baby's first Adderall, not clickbait. We got home from the flight. We picked up, no, that's one thing that's good about me being lactose free, Nick, is when I'm sick, I don't have mucus production. As much mucus production. Brie, her nose just dripping all week. I have phantom dripping because my sinuses are swollen. And so like my nostrils are heavier than usual. So my brain thinks my nose is leaking, but it's not. You're not gonna die. We can watch you. You'll be okay. I'm 30 taking Adderall for the first time. They got mixed up with the records of another dude. That's crazy. My hands are so sweaty. Saturday. So, okay, we get off the plane, we pick up JJ, we go home by like 1 o'clock. Where is he really so focused for like the first time in my life, Seneca? Imagine. My teachers would have loved this. We get home by like 1 o'clock on Saturday, and I immediately sleep for 17 of the next 24 hours. And we're like, oh, it's fine. We're just tired from traveling, and it's the desert, and the altitude difference is in the thousands. Like it was 3,500 where we were for most of the trip, and Seattle area is 40. So like insane altitude difference. And it's the desert. Like we could feel how dry we were. The first thing we both did. The first thing we both did the minute we got off the plane was just like inhale the Seattle air. I wish I slept for 17 hours straight. It was not a good 17 hours of sleep. It was like I took a nap I woke up, ate dinner, and immediately went back to bed. It's bad. There's always an immune system thing. Yes. And then Bree started feeling sick on Sunday. And then by Monday, we're both dying. It was so bad. And we both had different symptoms. So, like, I kept getting fevers. And my lungs started forming whatever that, I guess, is it technically mucus? I don't know. I guess so. But it comes from like here up. I don't know. When I think of mucus, I think here down. Um, oh. Yeah, and it's like sticky. And it like was like clinging to my throat. It was awful. Whereas Bree had super bad sinuses. Yeah, it was like slime that didn't have enough of the activator. Hers was in her sinuses and like a constant cough. Constant. And I was barely coughing. And I probably needed to be coughing more. It like wasn't in my sinuses though, Nick. That was what was so weird. Like I didn't have boogers. I didn't have a runny nose. Yeah. So pretty much all of last week she missed work. I think she went back on Friday. It doesn't need to be. Oh, wild. And she got COVID a couple months ago. So, like, she's low on sick time. So that's the timeline we're working with. It's so rough when you're both sick. And then on Wednesday, my period started. Because I didn't suffer enough in the last 8 days. Sometimes, Lisana, sometimes people get sick leave. Depends on how good your job is. She used to have unlimited PTO in addition to designated vacation days. Yeah, the period 2, Lisana. So, however, they gave us biscotti on the plane, and Brie didn't want hers, so I have 2 waiting for me. The red flood and the green flood. It was yellow, red and yellow. But yes, Seneca, there was stuff coming out of both holes. Technically all 3. 14 days a year, which is including sick days total. I would get sick so often from my period and like colds that almost every job I had, we had to fill out ADA forms that allowed me to use vacation days as sick days. Like I was allowed to use any of my time off to cover sick time. So I never got like days off. Hello, Alpha. How are you? Yeah, it's so fucked up, Nick. Like that should not be the like we should not be at that point. Like I understand on like a capitalism level not getting paid while you're sick or like while you take time off more than whatever days you have assigned. I understand. But they could at least do half pay. Go in the woods and scream. Currently, don't feel like I should be screaming, but I hear you. I hear you. Eat some cake, wear no pants. Gotta release your stress. I'm gonna be honest, Alpha. You kind of described my day to day, and I'm still incredibly stressed to the point I see my therapist twice a week. Seneca, respectfully, this is one of those times where you need to shut the fuck up. Stop showing off. Oh. She's trying to save her vacation days so we can go to Europe this summer. I'm still bad, but I'm gonna ignore that because streamer is on. Eating cake with no pants. Who I gotta beat up? Seneca. Bragging in European. She said I would know immediately when it kicked in. And I'm questioning if it's kicked in or not. My brain does feel slightly quieter, but I don't know if I'm just making that up. I'm really good at lying to myself. Can you beat up her period or her flu? My period's technically over. It kicked in? I will take your word for it. When I worked for a big company, I had 4 weeks of PTO. They provided the option of getting more in exchange for a slightly lower salary. It's one of the most evil and profitable companies in the world. So if they do it, everyone else can too. Is it bad that I immediately was like, oh, that's a good that's a good deal? She said it might happen faster because I've never taken it before. But she said, she was like, I'm giving you the dose that I would prescribe a 5-year-old. So if it's not enough, I might not notice it as much. The wedding itself was good. I was definitely more nervous about it than I needed to be. My cousin looked... Oh, what you're saying, Luke, is if they can do it, everyone else could do it too. In my head, I was thinking that was... because you used the word evil, so my brain was like, evil. 1 milligram per 2 pounds. That would be a lot. I do seem calmer. Oh, did it not work? If it's in a reply. There we go. I'm on 5 twice a day as needed. So 1 per 2 would be a lot. I guess it's not. Yeah. Well, no. I think she said we could go up to 50. Yes, Alpha. But today I'm just doing it once. Because it's so late in the day. Late. We wake up earlier now. It's very weird. Yeah, that's what she said. My cousin looked beautiful. Alpha, why do you have a concussion? Hmm. No, I know, Nick. We are going to play it. Not today, but we are playing it. I've avoided seeing any spoilers. But the minute I found out there's a missing room you have to find. That is the game I'm thinking of, right? You spammed Game Rex, and I'd already planned on playing it because I saw another streamer who does puzzle games and cozy games. I already saw her recommend it. I must have my real name instead of 5-star. Oh my god. The scandal. Hit the curb after his brakes locked up and flew a bit. Just a little bit. I do feel calmer. I do feel less hyperactive attention deficit disorder. Ew, the children. I find me and steal my broken bike. I've definitely been looking for a broken bike, actually. So that's honestly a good call. The children. Ew. Oh, I was trying to see if you could see them. They went a very like non-traditional route. So her dress was this like giant black ball gown. Like huge, massive. There are children and I hate them. They're loud. Tell you one children that I do want, that I don't want, but I do like, and that is, he's technically my first cousin. We call it, I call him my nephew. His name's Apollo. Brie and I do think he's who got us sick. Like 10 people got sick at the wedding that like went to the wedding. We thought maybe we caught it on the plane. And I texted my grandma warning her. I was like, I really hope we didn't get you sick because my grandma's 92. Don't fight Apollo. He's such a sweet, smart 4-year-old. Like, I'm not even like being biased. He's so smart for a 4-year-old. It's crazy how advanced he is. Like, absolutely wild. I thought he was 6 at first. No. He's 4. Rough him up a little bit. He was the flower girl, but he had a bubble gun. So he was the bubble boy. Oh my god, Nick, he has this brilliant afro and it's huge. It's bigger than the size of his head. It's amazing. He's so fucking cute. And he and I became best friends. He's like a little shy. But like once he warms up to you, he would like seek me out a little bit, like not to brag, but he's the bubble boy. And he couldn't understand why we couldn't blow the bubble gun in the house. And he did start sobbing a little bit. And it wasn't like a 4-year-old tantrum, like it was someone heartbroken. And we were like, buddy, you're gonna get soap everywhere. And you're doing it in the kitchen especially, so it's getting on the floor, it's getting a little slippery. There's a lot of old people here. But he loves colors. So he was wearing, the day we hung out on Thursday, he was wearing like a colorful plaid shirt and a completely different type of plaid and color scheme pants. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And he had colorful Crocs that he was wearing. So precious. So yes, a black dress, a black ball gown. She and the groom were wearing completely black. So he had like a black shirt under. And then the bridesmaids were in these very lovely purple dresses, but definitely not the kind of bridesmaid's dress you could wear again. Not really. Like, they were not cocktail dresses. Which personally I would have done differently because it was in the backyard in the desert. However, they were probably warmer than I was because it was so fucking windy. Brie and I were so cold the whole time, and I was wearing a cardigan. Yeah. So, fun fact, Nick, sometimes it snows at my grandparents' house because they're up in the mountains. But it was cold down in the valley, too. No, there was no heat for us. There was no heat the entire trip. Bright blue, sunny skies, no warmth whatsoever. I did not get hot once. I was just constantly cold. And I love my family, but desert people are obsessed with AC, and I swear to God, they use it during the winter too. So it was cold inside constantly as well. There was one day where it was warm-ish. That was Thursday. And it was during my therapy appointment, so I like sat in the sunshine, and that was nice. But I was still cold and like huddled around a hot cup of coffee at the same time. So, no, SoCal is, it's a misconception. It's definitely cold. I don't know how these girly pops at Coachella are wearing what they're wearing. I know that it's like a bit warmer this weekend than it was when we were there, but also good timing of my cousin, because if she had done it like a week later, we would have had to fight. We would have had to fight the Coachella girlies. And I was not in the mood. I was already not thrilled being in the desert. Again, incredibly dry, incredibly windy, incredibly red, unfortunately, versus blue. I could have met Bernie Sandwich. That's true. Pre-freezing themselves for summer. Drugs. Maybe. Hello, Wolf. How are you? Meanwhile, the wedding I went to was raining and 70 degrees. When we got married, I had a furry emerald green jacket. I didn't even need it. I was in spaghetti straps. I was in spaghetti straps and a cardigan for my wedding, which was a horrible idea because it was in February. But I wanted to wear that dress. Do you have a hard time with your skin's moisture? Brie hates lotion, and she was stealing my lotion at the hotel. And my lotion's expensive, okay? My facial moisturizer, it's not. You have to like dose it out, okay? And she was all over the place. I think I put on lotion 3 times before I put makeup on because my skin just immediately. And we were both going over with chapstick just constantly. And Bree's an idiot, and she uses the like chapstick brand, which is just wax, by the way. So unless you're putting some sort of moisturizer down first before you put over chapstick, you're not doing anything. You're just trapping in the dryness. So I'm just saying. And then the groomsmen were all wearing like a dark teal. Um, so the theme was Starry Night. So they even had like a telescope set up, which I thought was really cool. We went back to the hotel before it was dark enough to like use it. Back in ancient times, 65 and sunny. I went with the off the shoulder dress. It was a bit cold. Hi, Zach.
Hi.
Zach, thank you for 19 months. You guys are so generous. Thank you. It's lovely to see you. Yes, Nick, I would like to see the coat too. However, we got to eat great Mexican food because they had a guy come and he was cooking on site. I'm not a huge corn salsa person, and it was so good. I was eating it by the spoonful. The verde, also incredible. Perfect level of spice for me personally. He made churros on site. However, we did get the bad batch, and it was like really chewy, but I licked all the sugar off. Like that made the wedding a win for me was just the food because it was street tacos and fresh churros. Actively cleaning out a library at work right now, so just lurking for today. Thank you so much for the lurk. Have fun at the library. That's fun. I do feel different. This is weird. Why did I think chinchillas? I don't know, buddy, but I personally don't eat chinchilla. I think some cultures do, and that's fine for them, but I'm not interested in non-American cuisine meats. Personally. Brie was not impressed with Carl's Jr., which disappointed me. See the change in energy. I will say my brain fog does not feel that much different. But yeah. This is weird. Very weird. For those of you who missed it, Rayleigh took her first Addy 20 minutes ago. My grandpa is a goof. One of the reasons I honestly made Brie come to the wedding, she honestly was not interested in going. And Brie and the coffee will never stop. Ever. Never. Brie hasn't met my grandparents. We've been together for 10 years as of this summer. I will never stop the coffee, Alpha. I've been drinking coffee every single day since I was 14. However, I did not drink coffee last week, and that's how you know how sick I was. Oh, I'm on my second cup. No regrets. And at one point during the wedding, Brie and I were so cold, we were kind of staying inside for the most part. And in, like, off the kitchen, there's this little breakfast nook. It feels weird to call it a breakfast nook. To me, breakfast nooks are like they're sunny. This is like tucked in the corner, and there's this really cool looking giant brick fireplace, and it's dark in the corner. It's lovely. Are you the type of person that never lets the coffee cup go empty? I mean, I tend to do 2 cups of coffee at home. When Nassim, May, and I hang out, we're kind of getting coffee sometimes like 3 times. May was caught very off guard the first couple times she hung out with us. She was like, guys, you have to feed me too. I can't just drink all this coffee. So we're sitting in the breakfast nook, and there's only like 2 kids at the wedding, and they're both like under 5. Someone had set up like a giant like white paper roll and crayons, and it was one of the big crayon boxes, okay? I'm talking like 50 different color crayons. Incredible. Seneca, when I worked in an office, it was dangerous because we had a Keurig. Very dangerous. And I was there from 7 to 5 every day. Drink a lot of coffee. Also needed to so that I could have an excuse to not be at my computer. No, I drink a lot of caffeine every day. Like not an insane amount. 2 cups of coffee, a Diet Coke, and usually like a black tea in the evening. Gourmet crayons, as the Marine would say. What was I saying? Oh, so we're sitting in the back and we're coloring, and my grandpa happened to be sitting back there. And so I'm coloring, and Bree is coloring, and my cousin, who's the mom of Apollo, my cousin Zane, she streams, so sometimes she rates us. It's gonna make my headache ache more. Yeah, exactly. Coffee makes your headaches go away. I still need something to doodle with. I still need to fidget. So annoying. So we're coloring there, and my grandpa was being such a little goof. Oh my God. And I was making him laugh so hard. And he goes up to like hang out with someone else. I don't know, but he leaves the table, and Bree turns to me and she's like, your grandpa is so much more like engaged in conversations and like chatty than you made him sound. And I turned to Zane and I'm like, please explain to her that this is not the man we grew up with. It mostly makes me aggressive for some reason. My therapist was like, everyone has some sort of tic. And I was like, I don't. And she was like, everyone. Turns out doodling counts as a fidget. I thought I muted the mic, sorry. It's so much calmer and so few tangents. I'll take your word for it. It still feels like there's lots of tangents. I just have so much to tell you guys. That's why we're not playing a game today. And Zane agreed. Zane was like, no, I don't know who this man is. This is not what our grandfather was like growing up. Grandpa growing up was someone who, like, he would randomly slip you $20. Or if he was getting cookies, he would give you some silently. Or he would give you like a side hug after seeing him. That's true. It hasn't even been an hour yet. That's very true. It's not tangent, it's just pauses. Interesting. I like that you guys are doing like a scientific observation. Genuinely, I enjoy it. Julia's gonna be so excited to hear your observations. So is Jean, who I'm apparently also seeing this week. I didn't realize I was seeing her so soon. I think I was supposed to start the Adderall sooner. She wanted me to wait until I wasn't sick. He was like giggling, and he was giving me like shoulder pushes, and he was hanging out with the family more than he used to. He was teasing me. And when we were saying goodbye, he gave me like a kiss on the cheek. And I was like, ew, I don't want your wet smoochies. And he giggled. This 82-year-old man giggled. This 82-year-old former Air Force plane person who fought in Vietnam, like the scary, sad, bad war. I mean, all wars are bad, but like there's a lot of trauma with Vietnam. The Vietnam War. My grandpa's 82 and my grandma's 92. Scandalous. No, he's just a babby. Vietnam was recorded. Like America has like more baggage with Vietnam. Like I feel like people even talk about it less. Oh, sorry, Grandma. 93. My apologies. Anyway, my grandfather giggled and gave me a second wet smoochie. It was wild. He is so different than what he was like growing up. And I know that he's been doing therapy for a while, but then apparently he also got like a heart something. Was it Vietnam, Grandma? Gotta catch that extra year. Because you were stationed in Germany. Oh, she got sick. I don't know if she's still sick. But she and Grandpa, because you're hella old, they got antibiotics for it. Brie and I probably would not have gotten that if we went to the doctor. We did not leave the house. Brie couldn't even like manage to go to the store to buy us more NyQuil because she was too dizzy. He flew in Vietnam. Okay. Why are you stationed in Germany? Anyway, Grandpa won't talk about the war. That's how you know how bad it was. One of the things that I teased Grandpa about was how fucking clumsy the man is. And I don't think he's put it all together until I pointed it out. He fell into his fish pond twice before y'all decided to fill it up. I feel like the first time should have been enough, Grandma. He also fell off a ladder. He also walked away from a plane crash unscathed during the war. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Like, I feel like there's a lot more trauma. Also, I feel like there's a lot more people still alive from it because it was later. Like, the man is a cat. He hates cats. The man has 9 lives. And as I keep pointing out all of these, he was hurt in the plane crash. Oh, my bad. Where was he hurt? How hurt was he? He wrote a book about himself, Alpha. He actually did. He wrote a book. Only tells me about big old spiders, wet, soggy socks, and shoes. Oh my God, that's funny. I'm rereading it this year at some point, but there's a Vietnam memoir. And they have like a whole chapter about their wet shoes and their wet socks. I talked about the army, not about the war. What's it called? I don't know. I think I have it somewhere. Where my mom has it. He didn't publish it. Trenchfoot is not fun. Anyway, so that happened. Grandma was a goof. She was also giggly. Alpha, I haven't even read it. You would be a better granddaughter than I am. Back injury, broken teeth, and other odds and end. He also suffered from Agent Orange. Yes, that's like the biggest thing that people talk about when we talk about Grandpa fighting in the war is the Agent Orange. And a lot of the grandkids have health problems, and the rumor is he blames himself a little bit. Your family accepted me. I can be a nice granddaughter. It's a small family too. That was something Brie observed. Okay, so Brie's not like big on families, like extended families and stuff. I mean, like she talks to her family, I think like every couple weeks, her parents, and we are going to go see them. And like she flew out during COVID aftermath for like holidays and stuff. But like her cousins and her grandparents and stuff. And so I made her come to this wedding because she's never met my extended family. She met my aunt, uncle once a very long time ago. We'd only been together for like 2 years at that point. And they happened to be in town like for once, which is rare because my aunt doesn't really travel comfortably. Thursday, Grandma, you're hearing all the secrets. Thursday, Brie did not want to hang out with my family. I was like, here's what to expect. Okay, we're going to go down to my aunt's house. Everyone who's there, which is probably not that many people. I have a very small family. We're going to sit in the living room and we're going to talk. And we'll watch Apollo play. And my cousin brought her dog too. And we'll hang out with the dog. And that's it. And we're going to do that for several hours. And Brie was like, no, I'm not doing that. Especially if you go to your therapy appointment, I'm not going to be left alone with your family for an hour. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, we're married. So they're your family too. Surprise. Second of all, how do I put this politely since my grandma is potentially listening? My family is very engaged in conversations. My personality is not unique in my family. I mean, like, my tastes are unique. I say I'm a pink sheep in a black sheep family. My mom's a black sheep. I'm a pink sheep. Also, my mom's not as much of a black sheep as she thinks she is. She has a lot in common with our extended family. And so Brie's like, no, we're going to go and we're only going to stay for like an hour or two. And we're driving down from the mountains. So it's like a 45-minute drive. I was like, Brie, we're not going to drive like essentially 2 hours today just to hang out with my family for 2 hours. Like, we're not doing that. She's like, well, then I'll turn the car around. So I just don't say anything the rest of the trip because I know what's going to happen. We're going to get there and our family is not going to let us leave. Our family is going to start talking. At some point, they will feed us lunch and we will be stuck there until there is a natural break and everyone goes their separate ways. So I don't even bother doing a fight with Brie on it because I know what she wants is not going to come to fruition. It's not going to happen. She's going to be stuck with my family while I'm in therapy and she's going to be stuck with them. And exactly what I said happened. We all sat in the living room and we all chatted about who knows. And at one point, Brie was alone with my grandma in my grandma's room. And afterwards, when I was saying goodbye at the wedding, my grandma said it was lovely to meet Brie. We had a little talk, just us two. And it was really nice to like share that moment with her. Which is very hella cute for her to say. And Brie's observation, hanging out with us, most of the family, two of my 3 cousins, the only great-grandchild, my grandparents, and my aunt. So all who's missing is the bride, her fiance, Michael's fiance. All that's missing is like spouses and one cousin. And sure enough, they bought us Carl's Jr. Michael kept trying to feed us. He was like, "Do you want any food? Like, I can make you something." And he like goes to the fridge and he's looking through. And I was like, "Michael, just give me coffee and shut up." Bree's observation, she was like, "I wasn't expecting your family to be so close." And I was like, "What do you mean? They're in California." She's like, "No, like so close together. Like you guys all know each other." And I never thought of our family that way. It's very small, but Mom and I have always lived in Washington and they've always been down in California. And I saw them more when I was younger. We would go for like Christmas and stuff. And like I spent a couple summers with the family. I am more focused. This is so weird. So I always pictured the California family close with each other. And they are closer because my grandparents like helped take care of my cousins growing up. But also my grandpa came and like lived with us for a minute to help take care when my stepdad was injured. And like again, I lived with my grandparents for like at least a month, right, Grandma? When I came for Disneyland. And like, yeah, Grandma comes to my stream. She goes to Zane's stream. And my family has a habit of adopting people, which is why like most of my mom's friends, I call them aunties. And they like, we follow each other on Facebook and Instagram. And they know what's going on in my life. And my grandma was close to her cousins growing up. My mom was close to her cousins growing up. So like, I know their names. And my grandpa had, 3 other brothers? And their families are like closer. My cousin was living in Arizona for a minute and she would go to our great grandma's house like once a week for Taco Tuesday, for taco, Taco was it on Sunday or Thursday, Tuesday? They would go for tacos like every week. And then my cousin's husband is a twin and they're not great with their family. And they basically adopted his twin too. And then my uncle's family is a bit larger. And so it's my cousin's other family. And they're close with like our family. So it's weird. And there were a couple people at the wedding who came up to me and they were like, "Hi, Riley, how you doing? Is this Bree?" And they like knew all this stuff about me that I didn't know. 6 weeks when you're 5, at least 2 weeks, 16. I think there are several times to like a week or 10 days. Yeah. And Grandma and Grandpa used to RV all the time, so they would come up and visit. Like I never thought about it that way. I never thought about our family being close. But then I compared it to what it was like at Bree's sister's wedding with all her family. And it did feel less connected. Like her parents don't really know each other that well. Whereas my grandparents are like, at least when, like Grandma, do you still talk to Zosha? Like they know my siblings' family. My half brother, we know his mom and his other brothers. Like, and his grandpa. And his grandpa, the desert's very small. Like, my half brother's grandpa, my brother's grandpa, married one of my mom's high school best friend's grandma? Oh, there's some connection there. Like, it's crazy when I think about it. For a family that's so spread out, we actually are fairly close. Recently got in a fight with my cousins. I'm done with them. Organized grandma's 90th birthday. They complained about the way I organized it without them giving me input. I asked, can we take them to the swamps? Jesus. Seneca, not for white people in America. I mean, I know my example is Brie in Australia, but like, and also remember, Seneca, you live like in a small town. Brie has like an aunt and cousins that live in America, and she doesn't even know if they still live here. And we've never met them. I've never met them. At this point, I think I know some of her cousins more than, not a small town, it's a village, than she does, because she has a half sister, and her half sister and I are friends on Finch. Brie was like, what? I was like, yeah, because we're friends on Facebook. Because that's normal to me, which is why it's weird I don't know my other half siblings. But I just have no interest in that part of my family. They're technically family. I want nothing to do with them. So, yeah, I don't know. Brie's observation of that. And honestly, it made me feel, like, proud and, like, I don't know, like our family isn't as distant as it was in my head. It's not normal in large parts of the U.S. People tend to live further away when they grow up. I live 2,000 kilometers. I don't know how far that is. Hamlet. My grandparents and stuff live in the next village. Yeah. If anything, it's kind of odd that my extended family lives so close together, in my opinion. And then, yeah, they have a habit of adopting people. So, like, I call this girl Zoe my cousin. She's not my cousin. She's my cousin's cousin. Americans, and they're moving around. Luke, give me a distance! Not these numbers! Is it states? Are we talking states? How many hours to drive there? How long is the air flight? And we got to go to one of my favorite airports, which is the Palm Springs Airport. It's tiny. I think there's like 5 gates all in a row. And a lot of it is like outdoors. A lot of the all numbers. Did you say no more numbers? You know what, Zero? It's nice to see you. Okay, so it's like from Washington to Palm Springs. One of my ex-friends, she did the drive from Seattle to LA in like 12 hours. I was like, that doesn't sound safe. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do it. We're all family one way or another. Brie was also surprised at how modern my grandparents are. Grandma, so just so you know. Like my cousin, for example, was showing off a fairly feminine sweater that he got, to the point that Brie thought he was gay, but actually he's like the only straight cousin. My grandma was like, ooh, and they were like all complimenting it. And my nephew is pretty much being raised like gender fluid. Both my cousins have changed their names. My sibling is queer. And like, it's all just like, it's not a conversation. It just is. Bruh. You know what isn't safe? New York to LA in 23 hours and 45 minutes. Is that even possible? One straight cousin fighting to keep the genes in play. I mean, yeah. And he's also the only boy. Our family is very female leaning. That's the Cannonball record, right? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But anyway, it made me very proud of my family. And overall, you know, it was a decent experience. Bree doesn't ever want to go back to the desert because she's convinced she will get sick again. Yes, but not legally. Oof. Cannonball record COVID edition. I don't know what it means. So now Michael's the only unwed cousin. The rest of us are hitched. And I don't know how many great grandkids you're going to end up with, Grandma. Zane is pregnant. She's not doing a third. I don't know how many kids Luna's planning on having. That was the bride. If any. Bree and I aren't bringing any kids to the table. Bree and I both agree we probably wouldn't be the greatest parents. We're very good. Oh, you guys are talking about your driving competition. If we can only ever afford like a 2-bedroom, we would much rather use that so we can each have an office than to give a child a bedroom. So, in this economy, also, we probably wouldn't make very good parents. We both want a lot of alone time. Turns out I'm an introvert. Didn't know. So I'm trying to come to terms with that because as a content creator, I do feel like extroverts are more successful because they have more capacity to put out content. Like they're faster. I'm a charismatic introvert, apparently. I think one reason I never really noticed is because I grew up as an only child. So I had a lot of alone time without needing to seek it out. But it explains a lot. I don't understand where the cannonball comes from. Like, why is it cannonball? This is crazy, by the way. The Adderall. Bewildered. One of the shops. Cannonball's a movie. This is a movie where they do this very dangerous race that you're describing. Oh, yeah, Zero. I took Adderall 20 minutes into stream for the first time. I was nervous, so stream said they would take care of me, support me. So you have to be nice to me because it's my first time. I popped my cherry. She's still drinking coffee. I drink coffee every day and I can still go take a nap. I drink a lot of caffeine. Should I not be drinking caffeine? Okay, in my defense, I'm also on Lyrica. which is, yes, dear, but I worry. Which I always worry about saying this on street, but my drug dealer, my psychiatric nurse practitioner, medical professional, she's not a psychiatrist though, so there's no shorthand. Yeah, Seneca. Adderall and Red Balls, it's fine. She said that the Lyrica is gonna try to like counteract the Adderall. So I'm not only on the lowest dose of Adderall, but I'm on a medication that's gonna try to stop it. It is nice though, for once, to have a medication that I don't have to wean on and off of. She was like, if you don't want to take it for the weekend, don't take it. All of my other ones, if I don't have it, I basically go through drug withdrawal. I get sick. So it is nice to have at least one. At least one. Doesn't stand a chance from the boost of Adderall. Don't worry. I secured housing for Ireland, so that's exciting. I'm a little scared about it. Everyone in my life is telling me it's going to be fine and that it's normal. But basically, I found it on Airbnb, which already makes me nervous. And also, I do have, like a moral hatred of Airbnb, personally. I mean, we're dealing with a housing shortage and there's people basically making themselves landlords, but short term and more expensive than actually living in a house. So like you can't even like turn an Airbnb into your house. It's very annoying. Just as long as you've been alive. You're so old, Luke. Make you jittery and weird. You know your limits better than I do, but watch out for it. We're curious because I have my grandpa's shakes, which, oh my God, okay. I randomly, about mid of the day, it's not happening now, get the shakes, which is part of the reason that I've been bad at putting out merch in the last couple of years. Because I have a lot of ideas, but they require drawing. And I no longer have good control over my hand. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get like the stabilizers and stuff for digital drawing, but I can't. It's difficult. So I get what we call the shakes. This happened in California when we were with our family, is I got the shakes. And one of my cousins noticed and they were like, do you need to eat some food? Like, you good? And I was like, I got grandpa's fucking shakes. And grandpa hears this, walks by, puts out his hand. It's the stillest I've ever seen the man's hand be. And he's like, yeah, I don't get them anymore. Dude gave me the shakes. You understand? The shakes he is so bad. He used to be a painter. He did beautiful artwork. My mom's giving me one of the ones she has of him. And he had to stop painting. And instead he started carving because you can have more control because there's like the pressure and it's less, Anyway, so he used to carve a lot. He had like a whole carving shed. He doesn't carve as much now. I can't remember why. I think he kept hurting himself. Passing the mantle. I don't want the fucking mantle. Anyway, so Bria makes fun of my shakes. When I have the shakes, she goes, you nervous? You so nervous? So we're interested to see if it affects my shakes or not. Passing the mantle. You took them from him. I didn't take them. He gave them. I don't want them. Get a job at a smoothie store. So I don't have to use a blender. Is that the joke? It's mean. It's bullying. It's bullying. He can't convince. He can't carve because he broke bones in his hand. Also, one of the signs that Grandpa likes a newcomer into the family, like a spouse or a boyfriend or what, is he tries to give them a knife. My grandpa has a cajillion knives. We're like going through his stuff and he's giving it to us, like, you know, like the belt buckles and stuff that I showed back in October. And he just opens the drawer in his dresser and it's just knives. It's just knives. He tried to give my dad, my stepdad, or Mark, I can't remember. So either my dad or my sibling's dad. He tried to give them a knife that's a switchblade. He tried to give them a switchblade, which is illegal. You're not allowed to have those. You can't just take that on the fucking plane either. He tried to give Brie a knife. So, Brie's accepted. He liked her. Steven, he tried to give Steven a switchblade. Also, hi, Mom. You mail it. You have too many knives. I was like, not only is she an immigrant, but we didn't check baggage. You can't take that on a carry-on. And I'd rather she doesn't get in trouble with the government. And then he starts bragging about how his arm is full of metal. And maybe you shouldn't brag about that, Mom. Arm is full of metal. And so he could get it through TSA. And I was like, yeah, well, not all of us decided to break our arms. And that's when I started teasing him for being clumsy. And then at the end of it, I was like, you wonder why your daughter and I are so clumsy. We got it from you. And that got him giggling too. It's very fun to see an old man giggle. Knives aren't safe for baby geckos. Mom, Lasana's gecko is named Steven. So, it was a wild trip. Grandpa lore. He's not a very chatty guy. And so collecting information about him is fascinating. Whereas Grandma and I chat like all the time. Yes. So you can have it if you manually put the knife back in. As far as I know. But you have to pull it out yourself. Yes, you have to be able to pull it out. That's what she said. I noped out of that bar after that. Oh my God. You need to stay in your house more. Honestly, yeah. Anyway, I don't know much about knife laws. I don't care enough. But I appreciated that he offered Brie a knife. It made me feel like she was very welcome to the family. They also like her because her dad was in the Air Force and he's a trafficked air controller. And our family's obsessed with airplanes. Swear to God, all the men in our family have had some sort of association with airplanes. My cousin's husband works with airplanes. Mom wanted to be an astronaut. Airplanes are the best. Bree's brother-in-law works with helicopters. I think with the government. With the concussion or before? In the rain, back to where I sleep. So the phrasing of that. Mom, I'm on Adderall. I took my first dose. I think I forgot to tell you. They put me on Adderall. I had to take a bunch of like evaluation tests about the ADHD. And when I had my appointment, she was like, yeah, so there's no question. I'm a little worried about your impulsivity and something else I don't remember. He needs his own Twitch channel to talk about airplanes and knives. Oh, my uncle, also a pilot. Yeah. I asked Grandpa once why he joined the Air Force, and he said, I don't know, it was something to do. Alpha. I love your family. Bree's observation definitely gave me more appreciation for them. But I just kind of want to like lock you inside a house. We'll feed you. My grandparents are moving out of this house where most of my memories of my extended family are. They're in my aunt's house, which used to be my grandparents' house. And then she and her family moved in. Like most of my memories are associated with these two houses. They're doing renovations at my aunt's house. So that's been changed. So my grandma and grandpa could move in. And now they're moving out of their house and it's like emptying. Like I went to get a mug and there were like 2 mugs left. I went to get coffee. The cabinet was empty. And so it's weird to like see these changes. It makes me feel like time is moving and not in like a good way, in like a somewhat sad way. However, I am getting some great knickknacks. And then my mom is moving, so I'm getting shit from her too. Like everything's changing. It's very weird. Like you kind of expect this when you graduate high school or college, but for it to just happen in the middle of my existence, it's a very weird feeling. Not the monkey crying. Monkey see, monkey do. Don't make me cry. Oh, alpha. Anyway, I can't remember if I had anything else to tell you. I want Adderall. Wedding. Sick all week. Started playing Roots of Pacha again. There's supposed to be more love interests, or they said they were going to add love interests. Maybe I didn't read the announcement correctly. We're going to check. Roots of Pacha, if you don't know, is like Stardew Valley, but if it was like hunter-gatherer themed. Did you look at my magic school? I haven't looked at it yet. Yeah, you did, Jesus. I don't know if it was bugged. I got 50 million notifications that you launched the game. That's so funny. Oh my god, you guys! Medieval Dynasty just hit 2.5 million copies sold. That's so cute. Okay, they're adding new caves. That's fun. More tools. Oh my god, that's a raft. Developing ideas. It's hard not to get inspired. So, like, you invent agriculture, is what I'm saying. It's very good. I'm kind of annoyed it didn't blow up more. It's even like the same type of pixel art. Looks different, obviously. Did you see the new Sims kits? I did. I have them. They might be adding soap, jam, fishing lines, fishing traps. Okay, I think they're just advertising the next release. I think they actually haven't happened yet. All the new content is mid-game or end-game. So you don't need to start over is what they're saying. Okay, so you get to visit one of the tribes. They're calling them prophecies. That's kind of cute. So you get to see where they live now. They're adding new fruit trees. More. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're adding a love interest who basically looks like The Witcher. I could be showing you this, I guess. More animals, including the dodo. That's a dodo. Oh my god, I'm gonna have dodos. Sorry, spoilers. New regions. That's exciting. Designing the regions, we wanted them to reflect more spread out nature. I think you can romance him. If I can't romance The Witcher, I will be sad. Okay, wait. So when does 1.3 come out then? Four devlogs until the 1.3 update, and they seem to be posting them like every 4 or 5 days. That's so exciting! Oh, yay! Cavill Witcher. Here, I guess I can show you. Where is he? Come back. Baby, come back. His name's Ezekiel. Look at him. Line you up better. I got into playing it again because I'm so bored with Infinity Nikki, unfortunately. Right now, getting into Genshin makes me nauseous, which makes me sad. And it's a good game to play on my If you're watching the VOD, you can't see what my mother just said to me. But my mother just said that I am disgusting. With no punctuation or emoticon. Anyway, it's one of the better games I have to play on the Steam Deck, which is why I've been playing it. What do you mean payback? Payback for what? I've done nothing wrong, and I didn't even get you sick. This is exciting. More caves. Discovery of iron. Okay, so this one was posted on the 14th. But like, can you just tell us when? Like, just tell me when. Just tell me when. May 8th for the new. Telling me my coughing is disgusting. Rayleigh's a perfect angel with no fault whatsoever. Yes, thank you. Correct. I also would like to get back into Core Keeper, but I refuse to play it by myself. So. Oh, the people who did Stray Gods have a new game coming up. There's an update for the Koi Farm? That's hysterical. What else is in here? Oh my god, remember Valheim? For those of you who don't know, my mother coughs constantly. Like literally every 5 minutes, she's hacking. Like, and respectfully, B-word hasn't learned to cover her mouth somehow. Marriage contract. Due to massive reports of infidelity. Oh, April Fool's. It was any April Fool's joke. Okay. Whew. Brie accused me of quitting. What game is it? Oh, Fallout. I was talking about how I haven't finished Fallout. Because I'm at a point where you have to make big decisions that'll change like the game significantly, and I don't want to. And Brie was like, why do you always do this with video games? I was like, what are you talking about? What games have I also done that to? And she was like, what was that? The one, and it was like sand. And I was like, are you talking about Sandrock? I stopped playing Sandrock after I finished the plot. And because I was sad my boyfriend broke up with me. Yes, I got married. However, I don't think that's a good enough reason to break up with somebody. Personally. So, I don't hear kindergartening coughing. Oh, there was something else I can tell you. Brie and I went to what is known as Pioneer Town, which is a very sad tourist location. And I find it hysterical. And it's actually still used as like an active movie set sometimes for like Western stuff. My upstairs neighbor is coughing now. So, we took Brie we took Brie. I took Brie. Brie drove. Brie took Brie. There are a couple behind the scene photos on my Instagram if you would like to see. And they have fun little gift shops. So I got myself this mug and it says, pour yourself a cup of ambition. It's Dolly Parton. And I love her. And then I got Nassim and May stickers. I got this one for Nassim. Nassim really likes cactus. Brie was in jail. And then I got not this one for May. Where's May's? That one's for me. You made a clip. There it is. I got this one for May. It says Meow Boys, Hard Times, Tough Kitties, and it's got little cowboy cats. We're in her. Brie was in jail. Yeah. They put her in Pioneer Town Prison. Old Western town. Don't fuck around. May got a cat. So I got her cat-themed sticker. Her cat's name is Daphne. It's the prettiest cat I've ever seen. Oh yeah, Seneca. I'd be much more worked up if she actually went to jail. I got myself a sticker for my journal. It just says Pioneer Town, California. Western vibes. And I got myself this pin. And it's of a Joshua tree. Because we were in Joshua Tree. There are a lot of fucking Joshua trees. You would never guess. I think my grandparents have like 4 just on their property. Baby Demon. Baby 5 turns 1. Baby V turns 1. Sorry, my brain went. My brain went Roman for some reason. Ouch. How do you fucking... Thank you. Anyway. Put the pin on the board. Having a wife that's like one like very well paid, but also like totally down with presents is I saw the pin and I was like, oh, I want the pin instead. So I went to put the mug back and she was like, just get both. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna fight you on it. Your hair is so stringy. I think I need to change the shampoo and conditioner I use. It also doesn't help that I didn't. Maybe an outrageous question. Why didn't you go to jail? I love my wife. She is not an Instagram boyfriend. So if I want photos of myself, I have to instigate them. Initiate them. She's so pretty for jail. Bold of you to assume I'm not the sheriff, Lisana. She actually did take my photo with one of the wagons. I think it's on her phone, though. Anyway, and I have a hard time when she does take the photos, they're not good. And I'll try to do like, you know, artistic direction. For an example, one of the photos that I wanted was of both of us at Pioneer Town. But I wasn't about to ask some strangers to do it because I don't know. I didn't. So there was a sign that said gunfighters for hire. And I was like, it'd be funny if we took our photo with it. And so I tried to take the photos, but she like wasn't listening to me about how I wanted the photo. I wanted us both standing on either side of this poster to be like, we are gunfighters for hire. And she was like, I'll hold it. My arms are longer. So these are the photos that my wife took. And then like was done and walked away. Not a single good photo, Seneca. And then she got bored and literally like handed me my phone and was like, let's go. So that's why she went to jail, first of all. But yeah, so this is Bree in town jail. Okay, so the roll of toilet paper. So I didn't talk about why the hotel was awful. The hotel was awful. For one thing, it was insanely overpriced. Like insane. Insanely overpriced. It is trying to market to the hipsters that travel up to the mountains to go to Joshua Tree and like rock climbing. That was in the hotel room, 0. So they do like camp, sport, hiking theme decor. Decor is generous. Decor is generous. It wasn't Coachella and it's nowhere near Coachella. We chose it because it was close to my grandparents' house where the wedding was. Again, insanely overpriced. There was no microwave, no kettle, no cups, 1 hand towel, 2 towels. The shower was like a trinkle. It was, and that's generous. The beds were insanely hard. The pillows, insanely soft. Loved the pillows. This is the room. Concrete walls. No chair. This is the toilet paper roll. I thought this was cool. I thought it was funny. Yeah, grandma, grandpa, and my aunt were meant to stay in the hotel and they checked in and went, nope, and left. Did you stay at a prison? Unsanitary? I don't see how it's unsanitary. Seems a little dramatic, mother. The blankets that you saw, were basically sleeping bags, like lightweight sleeping bags. It kept sliding off the bed. Which I found hysterical. And they actually started to grow on me. They definitely like kept you warm. Like they were kind of nice. This is Brie trying to eat her burrito because the only chair available was built into the wall. And these units, pretty much all you had to like put your stuff, they had some like knobs bolted into the wall that you could use to hang up things, but like a lot of them overlapped, and so there was no one that could like was long enough to hold your things. The hangers, they gave you two. They were made out of cardboard, recycled cardboard. Literal cardboard. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I want you to understand. Literal cardboard. The air conditioner was great. Brie did have to unplug the fridge because it made a lot of bad sounds. So they gave us a fridge, but no kettle or coffee machine. If you wanted coffee, you could go to the lobby and buy it for $6. And it was not even that good of coffee. Coffee kind of tasted like cardboard. There was something else. Oh, what was great though, and this was my favorite thing about the hotel room. This was my absolute favorite thing. Aside from like the fact that they had a bungee cord for the toilet paper and the lamp hanging up was hung with a carabiner. My favorite thing about this hotel room was that there was a QR code on the wall that you could scan and shop the storefront if there was any of the furniture you were interested in purchasing for yourself. That was my favorite part of the hotel room. We'll never go there again. Would never recommend it. It would have been cheaper and more comfortable to go to like the somewhat sketchy motel down the road. Poop rope. Okay, I didn't think about it like that, and y'all are grossing me out. Oh, there was also no fan in the bathroom. So Brie and I got to hear each other take dumps, which was great. We're not used to that. We have separate bathrooms. I had a dude who's a QR code sticker put in all the QR codes. It's a Rickroll. That's fantastic. Oh, you put the word code. I was like, I don't know what triggered that. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you the hotel. I'm sure if you were a stalker, you could figure it out yourself. Because it is close to the family home. But that was my experience. Horrible. Brie was very upset about the kettle. Brie is basically British. Don't tell her that. Pullman City is a Western resort in Germany. Western resort? Western in which ways? That sounds fascinating. She's British with crime. She hates when I imply that Australians are British. Like, the two of you are just trying too hard to be different. Like, don't get me started on Marmite versus Vegemite. the same thing. It's the same thing. It seemed like the American Wild West. I want to go to that. I want to go to that. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Oh, I didn't finish the story about the housing. So I got housing for Ireland. She says Zed. I think. Like a normal person. Okay, can I just say, the first time I heard a British person, we had a British student, a girl that moved in 8th grade. And the first time she said Zed, we were like, what the fuck are you talking about? So confused. So freaking confused. Very American of us, but very confused. So yes, it is a perfect apartment. I did giggle to myself because I had said on stream that eventually I usually get what I want, and sure enough, I got what I want. Bria originally was rejecting it because of the price. He gave me 50% off. So the reason I am scared, and again, Mom, Brie, and even my therapist were like, yeah, that is a thing, is he isn't doing it through Airbnb. We're doing it through like text message. Off the table, like under the table. Because the fees are so bad is what people have told me. Like how much Airbnb takes. And I was like, okay, so do you want like a deposit? And he's like, I don't need a deposit. But if you could show up with insert 4-digit number in cash, that'll be great. So there's not really like a contract. In fact, actually, I keep meaning to screenshot the conversation. I'm allowed to do that, right? WhatsApp wouldn't let me screenshot his profile picture, which I thought was really annoying. And he gave me the actual address, so I was able to see it on a map. And he has sent me a video before, actually. It's some pub he's in, and there's like a table surrounded by musicians all playing different music. And he's like, tonight in insert small town I'm working in. So I'm pretty sure I have housing. My mom was like, look, if you show up and it was a scam and you have nowhere to live, can you afford it? And I said, technically, I mean, not really. This is like the cheapest one we found. It's like half the price of staying at any of the other rentals or B&Bs. Which is why you always ask, when you want something expensive, you always ask if they can cut the price down. And you give them a pity story, which mine was, hi, I am American archaeologist coming to study your culture. Please let me live here. It is so close to my work site. You have had contact with the person. Yeah, like we've had several conversations, like little back and forth. And I like sent him a photo of me at the castle from last year to be like, look, I'm a real archaeologist person. Feel bad for me. And his profile picture is a screenshot of his phone home screen. And the wallpaper is a photo of him standing with somebody at like a grocery store. But it's a different profile picture on Airbnb, and it's the same old man. He's been hosting for 4 years, according to Airbnb, and he has 10 reviews, and they were all good. They were all wonderful. So, yeah, like he's just this old man, I'm pretty sure. But I am an anxious person. I'm trying to convince Tay to go stay in Korea for a month with me and the kids. That would be so cool, Ellie. That would be so cool, especially to experience as a child. How can we persuade him? Screenshot of a screen screams old man. It does. And the fact that it's his WhatsApp profile photo it kills me. It absolutely kills me. So, there's like the only red flag is the fact that I have to show up in cash 4 digits worth of euros. I don't know how to get that. And I don't really want to travel with that much money. He's worried I'd be the only one able to communicate. You can speak Korean? That's a language, right? They have their own language. God, I sound so stupid right now. I know I sound stupid. I'm admitting it up front, so you can't make fun of me. Cool. But yeah, I don't think I shared the screenshot to all of Discord because Galway was a big city. Where I'm working is not a big city. So I am going to be more private about it this go around. However, I'll probably give it away when I start taking photos while I'm there. But anyway, but I shared a screenshot with the mods of the walk I'll be taking from the apartment to work every day, or I don't know, bus. I'll figure it out. It's a 10 to 15 minute walk. So yeah, as soon as I saw that, I immediately was like, yes, please. I would like to live there. And I liked that he gave me the actual address. Again, green flags. Korean is more easily discerned from Japanese or Chinese because of the circles in their letters and less lines. Oh, that's cool. It's so close. It's so good. It's like 5 minutes away from a grocery store. And it's an Aldi's, so it's a good grocery store. It has a fridge. It has a kettle. It has a microwave. It's got its own air conditioning. It has a washer inside. I think it has a small stove. I didn't pay that much attention, but I don't really use the stove for anything anyway, if there's a kettle. Yeah, no, it's good. And it rains a lot in Ireland, but it's close enough that that's not that bad of a rain walk. If anything, I can just, bring an umbrella if I'm not worried. So I did fill out the homestay application, and I am kind of curious to see where I would get placed. So I haven't backed out of that yet, because if it's a sweeter deal, it's a lot cheaper because it's just included in my tuition. Whereas if you find your own housing, you only get a $200 refund. Not how much it takes to live elsewhere. So I'm getting excited. Like, it's starting to feel real. And before we could plan, visiting Bree's parents and Lusana, and Paris, my honeymoon, I had to figure out my housing, and so I did my job. So now Brie and her parents have to figure out the rest of it. My jobs are planning what we do in Paris, which one of my friends is, her family is from France, and she's been a million times. I guess I could say her family is French. And so she's already giving me like recommendations and stuff. And I trust her recommendations more than anybody else because her family is literally French. And then you get an Irish family to keep forever. Yeah, I don't know. There are just too many variables with a homestay that make me nervous. You missed the big Parisian group poop. I know. I'm really sad about it. No, I'm not. I'm very excited. I have talked about this a million times. I will always repeat myself. I did a intense class about Parisian architecture, so I'm excited to see it in person. And there are a couple Roman sites that are still available that aren't as popular with tourists. So I'm going to try to find things like that. Like, I would like to see the Eiffel Tower. I don't need to go up to it. I don't need to be in it. But I would like to like stay away from the super touristy stuff. Like that one cafe that's always featured in like movies and like travel guides and stuff. I don't need to see that. And we're not gonna do the Louvre, but I would like to go so that I can see the gardens near and shut up, Zero. Okay, Lisana. And like take photos of the outside. Because I'm an architecture person. That's really what I'm interested in, is like exteriors. So I don't need to go inside. As much as I love art museums, it's huge. Brie gets bored, and there's too many people. So I would much rather go to like a small gallery or something. We were attacked by a man with a knife on the metro in Paris. Adventure. Oh my god. Grandma had like a bad story about Paris too. Y'all are making me very excited. Mom, if you could put a number on it, how old was I when the whole Really Loves Paris thing started? Yeah, I did a report on the, I always forget the name, but like the super modern one where like, it's like basically built with pipes and tubes. 3. That feels right. Try not to get robbed. But yeah, anytime I mention it, they're like, it's so gross. It's so dirty. Yeah, it's a giant metropolitan city that has been a tourist location for hundreds of years. Of course it's gross. I'm not naive. Yes! Pompidou. Yep. I would like to see that one in person. I did a report on that in 8th grade. Lived it there. It was the only bad thing that happened. My last job sent a youth group to Europe, and while in Paris, they had a weird guy follow them around and board a train with them while carrying a railroad spike. Love it. Paris is not a nice place as people think. Well, and so what I love about that is literally that's what like Louis wanted when they like completely remodeled it and wanted it to be the most beautiful city in the world. Like they wanted the perception of beauty. They didn't actually care if it was. So it always amuses me when people are disappointed. The French also invented malls, by the way, and like department stores, so you're welcome. What was I saying? Oh, it's like how I get amused when people like complain about ancient Egyptian aesthetics being used in pop culture and being like historically inaccurate, because the ancient Egyptian, or like saying the pyramids are built by aliens, they would have loved that. Like, that's what they wanted. Like, it's exactly what they wanted. And the fact that it's been like that for thousands and thousands of years, they'd be thrilled. They would be so happy. Mission accomplished. Are you going to Montmartre? Montmartre. I don't know. I'm also gonna have to practice my French because I forget how the letters sound a little bit. Growing up was hella hard to find anything to decorate compared to Paris things. Oh my god. Oh. I have so much sympathy for you. Yeah, it was early 2000s was really into Eiffel Tower aesthetic. Yeah, people, they don't have a clear understanding of what ancient Egyptians actually wanted. So it always amuses me when people use it as an example of like cultural appropriation. It's not. I mean, it might be to modern Egyptians, but the people who invented the aesthetic, you just gotta find Assassin's Creed 2 merch. The whole point of a pyramid is to say, look at my fucking pyramid. It worked out well for them, right? Yeah. Just curse a lot, then say, forgive my French. Oh my god. Yeah, you don't build a giant fucking pyramid if you want to come off as modest. And you don't build like 8 of them in a row. And then also all along your country. Like, that was funny. I didn't find it very funny, to be honest. Pillars under the pyramids thing. I haven't. You are always welcome to post this kind of stuff in Discord. I don't spend much time online anymore, so I don't see things. There's no way that's possible. Thanks. Like, they literally, pharaohs literally were denying being human. Oh, it's built by aliens. Ancient pharaohs. Yes. Oh, it cracks me up. It's BSU. It's good you know nothing. Oh. Okay. I'd like to go to Egypt at some point. I feel like getting scammed is even more common there, or at least people talk about it more. Maybe that's a racism thing. I should probably educate myself on that. 3 giant pyramids. They giant pyramids. They built giant palaces, tombs, cat. Like, they were not. It's also how they got colonized too, which is just such a good tactic if you want to take over someone's country. I don't know why more people didn't do it. Just fit to their aesthetics and they won't care as much. That's one of the reasons that ancient Egypt, as like an aesthetic culture in terms of like, it's one of the few ones that stayed somewhat consistent over like 2,000, 3,000 years. And part of the reason is even if they would get taken over, they would keep it as a way to be like, look, we're Egyptian. You're Egyptian. We match. It's going to be mine now. Goodbye, Grandma. It was nice to see you. I hope you're feeling better. I feel like history is filled with examples of anything is possible as long as you don't mind sacrificing lives and money. The whole lost in a desert near the pyramids trope in movies is so funny. Like, bro, turn around, get a nice meal from the building 10 meters away from you. My God, Adderall's wild. I don't know what I was expecting. End of sentence. I think I would be interested to see how a higher dose feels. She did say I'm allowed to experiment with that if I want to, but not to go higher than 10. I don't know, just like chill, Lisanna, without being tired. Like, I am tired. I stayed up till 4 reading. I assume you're on 20? No, she started me at the lowest dose, 5 and 5. Not scatterbrained. Yeah. Like, normally if I feel chill like this, it's because I'm exhausted. It's very weird. Very weird. I feel so sad for younger Rayleigh, and I just wonder what her life would have been like if people had realized sooner. Maybe I need, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that. Is this focused? Relax? Like, again, I am tired. 4 a.m. Brie woke me up at 9:30 because we had to go pick it up at the store. Pharmacy, whatever. Oh my God. We listened to Marina and the Diamonds on the way there and back, and I'm so excited for her new album that's coming out this summer. I highly recommend it. I know it's slightly different in that it's 1 pill a day, but 20 is the lowest adult dose. Interesting. Yeah, no, she said, we're going to start you at the lowest dose. This is what I would prescribe a 5-year-old. Mostly because I haven't been on it ever before, or any sort of, equivalent. But then I think you missed this. I'm on Lyrica for my nerves. And it's gonna try to counteract the effects. Like, it's gonna try to stop the effects. So we're going slowly to see how it interacts with the Lyrica. Because I do not plan on stopping anytime soon. Even though my GP clearly thinks I should, just based on the conversation to get her to refill it. But I don't know who Swim is. I don't know what that means. Okay, so I am a little bit stressed because I stream 3 times a week. We have a lot of games we want to play, and I will be gone July and August, and it is mid-April. That's because you stopped taking it when you were 15. And I see her on Thursday to sort of talk about the effects. But her reaction to my assessment results was hysterical. Best acronym for someone who isn't me. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, and now there's blueprints that we want to play. I would like to do a round of, Luke, are you listening? Can you answer a Heaven's Vault question? I could probably look it up, but. And all the other games. Yeah, I would like to play The Sims Pack It Up Challenge because we haven't played it and you guys have worked so hard on it. I hate that oomph has evolved. What did it stand for? Personally, I use oof. So you need to stream longer. Well, maybe the Adderall will actually help me do longer streams. Or stream, you know, more than 3. One of my friends. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever used it like that. You're so old. I would like to go restart. I'd like to restart Heaven's Vault. I don't know. So, okay, the first time you play Heaven's Vault, it's like a puzzle exploration game where you're basically building a dictionary for a fictional language that you don't know and trying to figure out. It's an archaeology. You're an archaeologist. And when you replay it, you keep the dictionary you've already built up. And your translations get more detailed and specific, which totally changes your perspective on the information you've gathered. I don't know if it builds up a third time. That's my question for Luke. Because I know when we first played it that weekend, he like binge played it. What's also cool about it is you tend to like find something new every single time. Like I played it a couple of times when I was in Ireland, to like perception. That's the word I wanted. Thank you. Because I was bored and I was in archaeology. And I found something like artifacts that I hadn't found in our other 2 playthroughs. But the reason we haven't played it like sooner or more often is because there's so much reading. There is so much reading that I get, and like down mellow time, that I get bored. I get bored, or my mouth gets dry. And it's a lot of repetition. So that's why we haven't played it like recently. I wanted to take a break. I did the same thing with Stray Gods. Games that like you replay to get different endings and stuff. If I can't have like a save point to return to, like we did with Forgotten City, I could return to a save point. If I can't do that, I need time away. So I would like to play that. When this Roots of Pacha update comes out, I probably am going to want to play that. I might keep that as an off-stream game, though, which would help. Cass Lordy and Lisana invented a Sims challenge with me in mind. So I would like to play that. I have a million things I would like to build in The Sims. And unfortunately, I keep watching Minecraft streams on TikTok. And I need to stop because I want to play. And then also if Infinity Nikki puts out updates, I'm going to want to play that. And then also I need to be planning stuff for Europe. I would like to put merch out this summer because I meant to put out merch last summer for Ireland. Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking Sims content that I contractually obligated to stream if I want it for free. I don't have to accept it for free and then promote it, but Now people go, this is for all my oomphs. That's not how it works. It's all over your Twitter. I've given up on Twitter. I really have. I want to play My Time at Sandrock. There's a bunch of games in here. I've been avoiding seeing people play Stardew Valley. It'll always be there, Rayleigh. You can always go back. Coral Island. I would like to restart. Maybe not restart, but... Oh, they put out a roadmap. Summer of 2025. Kids grow up. Holy shit. That's such a cool update. Update merch design before leaving for Ireland. Okay, but I do like the idea of like a sticky note. Okay, did you not hear me for Coral Island? I've never seen a farming game where the kids, the NPC kids, grow up. Like, not necessarily your kids. And like the image they have is one of the like kiddos clearly turning into like a preteen or a teenager. And I love that. Like, I don't need them to become adults, but I like the idea of them aging. Oh my God. No. So for the merch, I have this concept in my head called the S-Berry Travels or S-Berry Adventures or whatever. And it'll be mini collections, like 2 or 3, maybe 4 items. Mini collections of different places that I go to. Because I've been to California and I'm going to Ireland and I've been to Australia. And now I'm going to Paris and I'm going to Germany. So I like the idea of there being like these little tiny, just like themed things that have to do with where I go. And I already have items for these mini things and like rough drafts. Yeah, kind of Lasana. That would even be cool too to do like a postage stamp sticker. So like one of the things I sketched up for Palm Springs, it's like Western cowboy themed. So I have a bunch of like merch sketched out. I just haven't finished it. One of the ones I have for Ireland that is not finished, still have it, is inspired by this. So like retro looking map looking things. But yeah, I have to like actually finish those items. I'm also doing I'm at Rayleigh in like was this lousy t-shirt. I can. I'm trying to reduce the number of things in the store. just because I don't want it to be overwhelming. Oh my God. Speaking of my family, look at this photo I found of my grandpa and my mom and my grandma. And Julius makes this exact face. I wrote it down. Like, look, it's just my face. I don't think I have her cheekbones. I'm trying to angle my face the same way. I feel like her cheekbones are more pronounced than mine. I got cheeks. I got Grandpa's cheeks. Look at those cheeks. And then look at Grandma. Grandma looks so cool with her little aviator sunglasses. Stop. Look at, oh my God, my mom's wearing a jean jacket with jean pants. My mom's wearing a Canadian tuxedo. I never noticed that before. Anyway, I found that photo and I was like, oh my God, that's my sibling. Julius makes the exact same face. I got random shit in here. Oh, and then I want to work on like making Sims like YouTube content. Like there's just so much I want to do. And I guess like the Adderall is going to help now. But it's the number of streams we have available that's making me worried. Okay. Yes, I have giveaway codes for the new kits, the bathroom and the Sweet Allure. Is that what you're talking about? Or is there more? Are there more? Double jeans. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Those are the ones. Okay, good. I swear to God, they're putting new ones out every single month. Have one. You weren't doing the 80s right. To be careful with Adderall. For me, it really helps me focus, but if I start down a rabbit hole, I really focus. Yeah, that's what my therapist warned me about. She was like, it's gonna help you focus, but it's not gonna help you focus on the right things necessarily. Oh, Luke, I do. Yeah, I have a Heaven's Walk question for you. You played it through like 3 times, right? Or just twice? Hello, JJ. It's only 2:17. You were 2 hours early. Do you feel like your dictionary built up again your 3rd time, or is it just twice? Oh, you reset. By choice? Oh, because it's been a long time. Okay. It does keep getting... I don't want to say that word. I don't trust y'all. Sorry, I'm taking care of an EA thing that I kept putting off because I was sick. Okay. How about that runner set? Some of the inscriptions were different. There's a lot of 5-minute crafts where they use tampons to drain the water off noodles. I feel like they're too expensive to do that. More importantly, don't they sometimes have like heavy metal issues and recalls? Like, y'all can keep those issues. That's so funny. Yes, they are too expensive to do nonsense like that. There are some that don't have metal issues. I mean, watch me be wrong, and like they do get recalled, but the game has some ability to say, you're solving inscriptions too quickly. Time to make things interesting. What else has happened? Oh, I've been reading a lot because I was sick, but not only reading a lot, I'm reading a lot of physical books, which if you don't know, I've really been struggling with the last couple years. I've been mostly reading ebooks, and I mostly read at night when my family is asleep. So ebooks, because the dark. But I have a bunch of physical books that I would like to read. And some of them are ones where like I need it to be a physical book because I need to be able to like take notes and stuff. Oh, that was a good one. So I've been reading physical books. I've read. Let us check with my list. Well, I think I technically put these down for last year. Oh, I may have bought this for my ebook too. Oh, I hope I didn't. No, I don't have it on here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm missing one. 4. And I just started 5. Is that the cover's fun? was a little disappointing. It's the Half King. I feel like there was a lot more potential. Is that the one I thought had more potential, or is this the one that had more potential? I haven't read this one yet. This one's fun too. Yeah, this one I felt like could have a lot more potential and like expand. But I bought it at the airport because it was pretty. Game only has a few thousand words. If you want to say, I'm here to look pretty next hard, you can't make all of those words. It's got art. Hit a wall eventually. It does give Zodiac Academy. It does. Look how pretty it is. Oh, this time at the airport, I like buying books at the airport. I feel like sometimes they have fancy, like pretty ones. And a lot of the times they're the same price as buying it in like a bookstore. This one I have not read. But I got this because it was also pretty. And I have them put backwards so I can see how pretty they are. I finished Priory of an Orange Tree, which I can put down on here. It's not written down on here. If you don't know, it is a massive book. It's like 800 pages. I don't want to grab those again, but it's like the size of both of those put together, potentially, and then some. So I've been putting off reading it, but I haven't been reading as much smut, and so I've been able to read, like I was able to build back up to books that are a little harder. There's nothing wrong with reading books that are fast, easy, accessible, whatever. But I do feel like if you've been reading them for a while, it's hard to get back into like general fiction. But I have been reading general fiction, and so I'm like back into it. Anyway, so I read it finally. So good. So good. I'm actually mad that it was as good as the TikTok girlies were saying. Is the kind of fantasy that reminds me of Juliette Marillier. She wrote the Seven Waters trilogy, which ended up being like 7 books. And then I think she also wrote a couple additional ones. And hers are like high fantasy with romance implications, but you never see anything. And a lot of times I need romance in order to be interested in what's happening. Because if there's too many politics, I get bored. Anyway, Priory of the Orange Tree was so good. It is gay, but it like it takes a long time to get there. Super high fantasy. It doesn't look like she's writing a sequel. And I'm upset. There is a published prequel, and it looks like she's writing a prequel of the prequel. I don't want a prequel. I know what happened because they talked about it. Weight goes up, goes down. I read like a maniac. Wait up, scatterbrain. intertwining of the story was so masterful. It's fun to read. I can read novels without medicine, but it isn't fun. Oh, I get that. Bree was actually kind of annoyed because I spent all of Saturday in bed reading this book. And I don't usually read, she's writing a trilogy just backwards. I don't usually read my iPad books during the day. I save them for the night, and then during the day I try to read the physical books. I could not stop reading it. At one point, she came in, she was like, "You've been reading for 8 hours." And I was like, "Oh." And she was like, "Do you, maybe take a break?" And I was like, "No." Because there was no natural stopping point. Robin Hobb is also on my list. So, no, I can't stop. I have to finish the book. And so I finished the book probably within 24 hours. Very proud of myself. I usually average 100 pages an hour, but it took longer, even though it took longer than 8 hours because it's so dense. I hate reading 2 different books at the same time. I usually finish books fast enough that there's not that much overlap. So, I'll finish a book the night and then I read a book during the day. And it's mostly finished before I start a different book. Anyway, Chewy said she ended up getting rid of her copy of Priory of an Orange Tree because it's such a big book. I recommend trying it. It wasn't as... I feel like there's some high fantasy that feels almost academic in nature. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not friendly. This was different. This felt warm. And even though it was a million different characters alternating their chapters, and it was confusing, and the maps don't have the locations they go to, which did drive me a little insane. I figured out country-wise, but the towns they're mentioning where they're it's a major port, not on the map. So I don't know where on the country you are, but I know which continent you're in. Anyway, you should read it. It's really good. I'm just mad because I won't spoil anything, but at the end of the book, one of the characters, it says she woke up with a butterfly in her hand and blood on her side. And then that's it. That's her ending. And you go to the other characters for their conclusions. Why is there blood? Whose blood? Her blood? Someone else's blood? Why is there blood? Is it a metaphor? I don't know. And there's no sequel. She was also one of my least favorite characters, but by the end, I did start liking her. That was something I also liked about the book, is there are some characters you probably will not like, but they're still a main character, and you're still kind of rooting for them. And I like books and movies like that. My brain is on fire. Yeah, Alpha. That's why I mostly read at night, is because I've been awake long enough that my brain kind of, we've just got embers, I usually play 3 to 4 games at a time. There's multiple series that are all set in the same world, but at different times. So some people cross over, but it's also different places within the world. I love books like that. The Seven Waters trilogy is like that. It's the same family, but it's descendants. Each book is a different descendant with their own separate thing that they got to deal with. but it's all the same family and it's all the same world. But yeah, different places. Major trigger warnings though for the first one. Zero. So until recently, we were like settling in bed at midnight, and like that's when lights are off. And I would stay awake until like 2. Like Bree falls asleep, I stay awake until like 2. Now Bree's been going to sleep at 10:30 and lights are off. And so I can usually like my brain is trained to be like, lights off. We got to start ending the day. And I start reading. And then apparently I go to bed at 4. I'm reading The Cartographers. She finds a map in her dead dad's desk in a secret compartment. And it looks like a stupid plain map. But then someone tries to steal it and kills the security guard. What's so special about the map? I don't know. Yeah, Seneca. Yeah. I like when they do that. But I'm excited because I've been able to get back into like high fantasy. Which means there are a lot of books on this bookshelf that I can probably actually focus on that I've been wanting to read. Wanting a copy of Priory made me realize that there are actually quite a few books I'd be okay getting rid of, which shocked me. But sometimes it takes me longer to pick a book to read than it does to actually read the book. I'm not exaggerating. That was one of the reasons I was up till 4 last night, is because it took me like an hour to pick a book. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map! I think the reason that I prefer fantasy is because it doesn't refer to real things. It'll make references, or like sometimes you can tell it's inspired by a culture. Priory of the Orange Tree, actually, it's like 4 different continents participating. And so the chapter headings are just like north, east, and to orient you of which group you're talking to. And they have like distinct cultures. And one is very clearly medieval Western Europe. The other one's very clearly Eastern Asia. And it's very cool. And like they interact with like, oh, whoa, you do things very differently here, which is also very cool. I quite enjoyed that about the book. Like it wasn't just English castles or, stealing Gaelic words because they're pretty looking. Sword fighting. Everyone there is into medieval stuff. That's fair. I'm trying to intentionally find more fantasy books that are inspired by the Middle East or Asia. There is one that looks kind of good that I did buy like a couple of years ago, I think. And it's she got put in prison. Oh no. Can you fault her for that? It's her nemesis. It's a corgi. I'm sorry, Nick, but this is an anti-corgi household. She hates any corgi she sees. I don't know what it is. Oh, there's a book I found that looked interesting that is she accidentally awakens an Incan god of death. And he's like, if you don't help me, I'll kill your family. Really excited to read that one, actually. I just haven't been in the mood. I realized that I tend to read the same, like, subgenre at a time. So, like, I just had a major Regency England phase. And it was, like, romance, but also, like, mystery. I have a couple more for that thing, but I've kind of moved away from it, and I'm in contemporary fantasy, magical realism. That's where I'm at right now. I'm also kind of into mysteries. I have to be careful with mysteries because I get too scared and I bite all my fingers off. So I have to be careful about how scary they are. So I went through my bookshelf and I found all the like light-hearted murder books. So like How I'll Kill You, which is a romance thriller. Or like, you know, like cupcake shop mysteries, that kind of thing. And they're cartographers, like it's a mystery. But sometimes I get disappointed because there will be fiction books that imply that there's some sort of mystery. And in the end, it's just some sort of metaphor. And like it wasn't actually a mystery. And I get disappointed. I don't like those. So this one is like a mysterious map. So like there's clearly something going on. It's not just at the end gonna be like, he kept it because he missed me. Like I hate when that happens. What was it? Something Catherine's, that John Green book. Something Catherine's. And also Paper Town. Disappointed me severely. Because I thought there was some sort of mystery happening, and then it wasn't actually. Abundance of Catherine's. I have a hard time stopping reading anyway. Mysteries give no chance at all. Exactly. I had a very hard time last night, but there was like sort of a natural ending, and it was 4 a.m. So Napoleonic or post-Napoleonic. I did attempt to start. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Lasana. I did attempt to start How to Murder Your Employer. or something. I think it's like that. But it's written as like a reference guide, which I love books that are written like that, as if like you're also, as if it's real. But I wasn't really in the mood for like a short story, or please read Hornblower. What is that? Bree woke me up early and she was like, it's not my fault you stayed up till 4 a.m. reading. You know, it's a book. It's not going anywhere. Let's say I get to live another 50 years, okay, just to keep a nice clean number. And let's say, on average, if I really focus, I get 100 books a year, which used to be my average. Now it's closer to like 60, 70. That's only 5,000 books. I own 600 ebooks. The book might not be going anywhere, but I am. So I know, Zero, and it actually stressed me out. Like, it was less helpful than I think you intended. Instead, it made me want to cry. And there's also this series that has like 20 books in it, and I'm only on like book 8. And it's not one that I can like read all in a row because I start to get like a little tired. The book's not going anywhere, but when I read, I'm in the story, and the story is going somewhere. The book might not be going anywhere. The book is inanimate. I'm also picky about books because I realized I hate first person. I didn't realize how much I hate it. What series is that? It's the one, oh God, what is it called? It's like the time traveling archaeologist. The last one she read, they switched alternate reality. I will find it for you. It's very good. I very much like it. My supervisor at the dig and I bonded because he was recommending it to someone, and I was like, oh my God, are you talking about blah, blah, blah? And he was like, oh my God, no one ever knows about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I also want to read classics that I didn't read in school, but I have to like build up to that and like practice, you know? My God, there's a lot of books in here. The Chronicles of St. Mary's. Let me see if I can find the list. As of now, there are 29 books. A lot of those are novellas and like side stories. So there are 15 main books, and the newest one, oops, apparently I own it. Oh, it still counts as a short story. I haven't read it yet. I was trying to see. It came out last year on Christmas. It might be about Christmas. She does Christmas ones, which are cute. Yeah, to wish you a Merry Christmas. So she's still writing them. Hornblower has the worst romance plot out there. But the Chronicles of St. Mary's, it's one of those ones where like there's technically romance, but there's no like scenes. It's like a subplot, but not even a subplot. It's just kind of happening in the background. In fact, when they actually got together, slow burn, when they actually got together, I was caught off guard. I was like, oh, so like he did like you back. which I thought was funny. Want you back. I want you back. Want you back. Ooh, I broke it up thinking you'd be crying. Now I feel like looking at you flying. I want you back. I want you back. I want you. What would you like to do? I've only been streaming for 3 hours. Here's a convenience. They see each other 36 hours in 2 years. Oh my god, goals. Anytime brings 100 days of Dante. They break down Inferno into each chapter and have like a 5-10. Oh, that's super cool. 0. Can you put that in the thingy? After marrying, somehow have 3 kids. They got very lucky. Popping out them kiddos. Trying to find a sticker that matches this page. I still feel like I get easily distracted, but like it's a calm distraction. Does that make sense? Using it productively. That's funny. That made me laugh. They were not fucking around. They were like, we need an heir, let's go. So I have all these books I want to read, but I also want to watch television. I was telling my mother and my therapist, I want to feel the way that I feel when I watch New Girl, but like all the time. When I told Brie, she was like, you can. And I was like, no, you don't want me just watching TV all day. And she was like, oh, wait, yeah, no, I don't want that. I forgot my name because I saw something shiny. Huh. You're saying like this is what normal people feel? Like I'm just getting normal distracted, not ADHD distracted? Or are you saying I'm still getting ADHD distracted, but it's without? I don't know. It's cute. It's a little lamb. Not heir, they're poor. I mean, even poor people need an heir. You're normal distracted. This is crazy. Wow. I'm normal people distracted. That's so cool. I broke it up thinking you'd be crying. None of these stickers exude what I want. I mean, it's specifically a color that I'm looking for. None of them fit what I want. I'm saying the softer distractions more like normal people. So are you saying that's not what I'm experiencing right now? You gotta make up your mind, Zero. I broke it up thinking you'd be crying. This is how to be a heartbreaker. Here's my glue stick. Kind of cool your first Adderall experience is being documented. Yeah. That is one of the kind of magical things actually about streaming is hours of my life are being recorded. Like there are some times I see clips from like when I first started streaming and like it's baby Rayleigh. You're just reading it different. Oh. Whatever. She's very task focused. I am. Currently the task is journaling. Earlier, the task was Zentangle. Before that, the task was story time. Now we're just chilling. Should I play music? Do you want music? I've broken up thinking you'd be crying. Now I feel like looking at you flying. I want you back. I did not collect very much trash. I did not collect very much trash on my trip. But I did save the bag. Look how cool that is. Isn't that neat? So we're going to keep that. Yes, music. What should we listen to? I could play real music and we just don't keep the VOD. Not that I don't like you singing the same 3 sentences over and over. We'll listen to real music and I just won't keep the VOD. That's fine with me. No, keep the VOD? I mean, we can keep the clip you made. The VOD is important. One time I started Adderall on a weekend and started a project. I thought it was 4 to 5 hours. It was 14 hours later I got up to use the bathroom. It is the first Adderall VOD. That's true. But I can... I don't know if I'm going to want to rewatch this. There was a thing that I kept that I clipped to watch back because I thought it was funny. It won't be on YouTube and it wouldn't be public on Twitch. No, I can't keep it on Twitch either. Stream safe music. I want you back. Ugh. Let me just stop and restart stream. What I need to do is set up the thing that Zero keeps trying to help me with so that it's not attached to the VOD. Because, I mean, maybe now I can. Maybe now I can actually sit down and focus on getting stream stuff set up. So I need to change the rest of my graphics too. It's okay, we can listen to Sims 1 nightlife ambience music. Okay, I saved our napkins from the plane. Elevate your flight with a West Coast bite. And Seneca keeps the first Adderall VOD. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it, and then I can sing Marina. Okay, bye.